When you hear the phrase game changer, what does that mean to you? You know, as Inigo Montoya said, it may not mean what you think it means. I do not think that word means what you think it means. Game changer. Let's find out what that actually can mean for you in this episode of the VOHeroes podcast. Every time I see some article where the writer is about to show you something revolutionary, something huge, something game-changing, they'll use that phrase, "This is a game changer." And it's interesting because very often when you actually look at games and what can change those games, a lot of the time, the vast majority of the time in my experience, what has changed the game was something small, something specific, something that is anything but revolutionary. You look at sports, athletics, competition, even non-contact competitions like chess. You know, one little move can be a game changer. It doesn't mean, a wholesale changing of the rules or a brand new, huge, monumental shift in strategy or tactics. And so you very well may be presented with a game-changing opportunity by doing something that's just a minor adjustment. And we tend to grade ourselves, give ourselves credit for things based on the volume, the size, the intensity of the change that I got a brand new blah, 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 and it changed everything about how I do things. What about those times when you make just that tiny little adjustment? You know, the classic business apocryphal story of a factory that had shut down and nobody could figure out why it wasn't working. The machines weren't playing with each other the way they would, and they brought in a consultant who noticed that one screw needed to be turned about 16 degrees to the right, and he did so, and everything started happening again, and he said, "That'll be $500,000, and they said, $500,000 just for turning a screw a little bit? But knowing which screw and how much to turn it, that's the $500,000. And I just want you to give yourself some grace on this notion of, do you have to overhaul your entire process and strategy to do better? Probably not. This all harkens back to the whole notion of little tiny incremental minute changes can make all the difference in the world. And so the next time you hear the word game changer, know that it probably applies to you for the little things you've done to make your voiceover and actor life that much better. Take credit for it. Enjoy. Also, while you're at it, hit the like button. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe to the channel. There's a notification bell you can just take a great big mallet and clang on if you want to be notified when there are new episodes in this podcast. Go ahead and do that if that's what you'd like. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I will see you in the next episode of the VOHeroes podcast.